Well, the teen arrested in connection with this shooting is now charged with unlawful possession of a firearm. He's since been released onto electronic home monitoring, and at this point, it's unclear if he's related to any other similar incidents in the area.
I mean, they're shooting up a pond in broad daylight.
It was just before noon on June 10th when Seattle police responded to reports of 3 boys randomly shooting a gun near Seola Pond in West Seattle.
Who are they shooting at? You know, which direction are they shooting?
Tom Parks was working in the area last week when he heard gunshots around the same time.
We were up working on the roof and heard 3 distinct, sounded like rifle shots, and in close proximity, you know, less than 100 yards away. A little startling because you're on the roof, there's nowhere to go.
SPD officers located 3 shell casings near the pond, and just a few blocks away at 30th and Roxbury, they caught up with one of the teens and found a loaded 9mm semi-automatic handgun in his backpack, which he claimed wasn't his.
I think they handcuffed him first, and then they were looking through his backpack.
Court records in this case state a records check of the gun was performed, but no information could be located about who the owner of the gun was.
It's gotten pretty scary that these youngsters are getting their hands on guns.
Debbie Stokes works in the area and, like other neighbors we talked to, said it's not unusual to hear gunshots here. A couple weeks ago, she says a bullet went right through the coffee stand where she works. And just last month, 3 unidentified suspects who also appear to be young shot up a home with a woman and a child inside less than a mile away from here. No one was hurt in that shooting, and Seattle police have not said if these 2 shootings are related.
Something needs to happen, and until it does, you know, I'm surprised, but I'm not, you know? These kids around here are doing anything for some kind of attention.
And Seattle police did locate a second suspect involved in this incident. They did interview him, but then released him. And so far, that third suspect involved has not yet been found. Reporting live in West Seattle tonight, Leanne Wynn, KOMO News.
Seattle police arrested a 16-year-old with a loaded gun following a shots fired call in West Seattle. And I spoke with Leanne Wynn about what led up to that arrest. All right, Leanne Wynn, thank you for joining us on ARC Seattle tonight. So this is another disturbing crime and another case of a crime involving a teenager.
Right. Yeah. So Seattle police say that this actually happened in the middle of the day, just before noon on a Monday in West Seattle. This happened back on June 10th. Police were called to the area near Seola Pond. A 911 caller reported that about 3 possibly teenage age boys were firing a gun near the pond. Now, this area is a residential area, so there's a lot of homes, there's a church nearby, a lot of kids and neighbors in this area. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but Seattle police did respond to the area. They were able to track at least 2 of the 3 down in an area nearby, and they ended up arresting one of those kids, a 16-year-old who had a loaded gun in his backpacks. So they seized the gun, and they actually tried to find the owner of the gun, but a records check showed that there was no information on the owner of that gun. So the 16-year-old was taken into custody, and right now he's facing a charge for unlawful possession of a firearm.
Do we know what happened to the other 2?
So police questioned and interviewed the second person that they detained, I would say, but for whatever reason, they released that teen. Perhaps they did not have enough information to charge him with a crime at that point, and then they never found the third person at this point.
Okay. Obviously very disturbing. I don't know if you've had a chance to talk with neighbors today, and if so, what are they telling you about this?
Well, I spoke to, I want to say, about 10 neighbors, and I would say most of them said, unfortunately, hearing gunshots around in this area is not unusual. Now, a couple did say, you know, they don't really hear gunshots around here, but I would say most of the people that I talked to today were not really surprised. In fact, we did talk to a woman who works at a coffee stand right near the intersection where that teen was arrested, and she showed us a bullet hole in the coffee stand that she works at. Unrelated shooting, a different shooting that happened a couple of weeks ago. But then, you know, in addition to that incident, we also have a different shooting that we reported on less than a mile away from this incident just last month. We had disturbing video of 3 young-looking suspects. They were covered in all black, but appeared to be somewhat young, basically just shooting up a house in West Seattle that had a woman and a child inside. Thankfully, again, no one injured there. And at this point, Seattle police have not said if those shootings are related in any way. We have asked, but just have not heard back yet.
All right, certainly something we'll continue to look into. Lynn Ann, thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Steve.